Hey guys, welcome to the tutorial and today we are going to see about Azure policies. And if you are preparing for AZ500, you may want to take a closer look onto this Azure policy and get used to it because you might get a lot of questions on that. And without wasting time, let's see what is Azure policy. So imagine you have a company and you want to enforce certain standards and you want to do certain compliance and make sure that everybody is following that, and you don't want to violate anybody on the compliance, right? So how do you do that when you have a huge number of systems? And that's when you have to start using something called Azure Policy, right? So with Azure Policy, what happens is it basically evaluates the resource in Azure by comparing the properties of the resources to the business requirement. So how do we put those business rules? With the help of Azure policies. Okay, so let's get on to Azure portal. As you can see, I'm already inside Azure portal. And let's say that I want to have all the resource group to be having a tags, right? With the help of tag, you can do a lot of things. But let's say we have some lazy folks out here and they just went ahead and create a whole bunch of resource groups without tags. Let's say that I have a resource group called daily demo. I'm clicking on that and there is no tags. Okay, and same goes with all the resource group because I was the one that created it and I was too lazy not to create a tag on it, right? So if this is given the scenario, how do we enforce that the people should create resource group with the tags, right? Then we have to use Azure policies. And let's say take another example as for the demo. Here you can see that I have a virtual machine configured and this is a Windows box and I have it as production box, let's say that. And this Windows production box does not have any anti-malware extensions or any software in place, and I just want to enforce a rule in a place where anybody creates a Windows virtual server, right? I want them to have those ISS anti-malware in place. And let's see that I created this Windows box and I forgot to install anything. Okay, so I only have something called Microsoft Monitoring Agent and I don't have any other extension in place. Let's say if this is the scenario and you don't want to keep going on and manually see this whether it is being compliance with what we want or not. So that is when we have to start using something called Azure Policy. Now you might have a better idea why we need Azure Policy, and let's see how to create Azure Policy, and then I'll go about and explaining what are all the other things that you can do with Azure Policies. So let's move on to the front page of Azure portal, and just with a search bar just type policy and that will take you to Azure Policies. And with Azure Policy you can do an assignment and you can do a policy definition and also exemptions. Let's go on and create an assignment. Okay, and let's say we'll go with the first requirement. I want the anti-malware to be installed in all the virtual machines across the subscription or management group. So you have to listen that you can enforce Azure Policy, right, at the subscription level or the management group, and management group is nothing but group of subscription. So let's say I want to define the scope as at the subscription level. I have a free subscription level, so I'm going to choose that. It's already there, and you can also include exclusion. You don't want certain resource to be adhering to the policy assignments, but I don't have anything right now. So let's go on to policy definition. Just click on this dotted arrows and then search for, these are all the bunch of Azure built-in policy that you can use. Currently it's 742. Let's go and type like anti-malware, and you can see here that comes up. It says like this policy deploys a Microsoft ISS anti-malware extension with the default configuration when VMs are not configured with the anti-malware, right? So that's our scenario here. So let's click on that and just click select, and then obviously that's my name, whoever assigned by. And let's go on to the parameters. Right now this does not have any parameter, and this is where it comes interesting, like remediation, right? Let's say this is the policy being applied at the subscription level, okay, now you want know that you have enforced this policy, but you also want to in a way that if it is not compliant, you want them to go and install by itself. So if that is the case, let's go on create a remediation task. So when is the remediation task kicks in is whenever this policy is not being compliant with any of the resource, it's going to go and install Microsoft IS anti-malware extension automatically. So this is what we need. Like, we don't want anybody individuals to go and see manually whether it needs to be installed or not. So I'm going to do it this way, like create a remediation task, and you can type any other non-compliance message if you want, just for the user friendly, but I'm not going to do that. And let's just do a review and create. I'm going to click create and wait for the policy assignments to be created. And once that is in place, okay, that is in place, let's go on to the overview and see whether we have our policy in place. Yep, we have our policy in place, and this is the front dashboard where you can see whether if the resources are being compliant or not. Let's click on view all, and I have created 3 policies already in place, and you can see that the compliance state is not started because we just initiated it. So let's just wait for some time, and then I'll come back again, and let's see whether the anti-malware is being installed automatically or not. I'll pause on the video and resume it back. So as the other policy is being deployed, let's go on to the second requirement where I said, like, this is the inbuilt policy that I've just pulled it out from the GitHub, where the definition of this policy is like it will go and enforce tag if there is no tag being created for the resource group. So let's click on to the assign, and then let's again put the scope at the subscription level, and then click select. And now you can have the name which has already been populated, and then let's move on to parameters, where you have to give some parameters, like let's say like environment is AVN and the tag name is production. And then let's go on to the remediation task. Let's create, and then say like add a tag to the resource group. That's the remediation, and just say like review and create. So once this policy is being assigned and it's been triggered, I will review it. I will resume the video back again, guys. Thank you. So as you can see that the policy has been deployed, and you can see that in previous state it was saying that it was not started, and after some time, like good 15-20 minutes, now I can see from my policy dashboard that all my 4 policies, in which 2 of them which I just created, it says that non-compliant, because we had a bunch of resource group which is not having any of the tags, right? So it was saying that non-compliant, and then it clearly points out that the number of resources 4. And then we have another policy where we deployed and it say that we have to have an ISS anti-malware extension, and that is also saying that it's non-compliant, and it clearly says that we have 1 resource because we have only 1 virtual machines. So if you have created a policy and it was just laying there for not started yet, just don't get freaked out. So I will show you something interesting. If you go on to the troubleshooting and common errors, let's say that you created a new policy and initiated an assignment, and if it's not in getting started, that's because there is some thing that we need to understand here is a new policy or an initiative assignment takes up to 30 minutes to be applied. So we have to be patient till 30 minutes. And new or updated resource within the scope of an existing assignment becomes available in about 15 minutes. And a standard compliance scan occurs every 24 hours. So we just have to remember that all these things when we create a policy, and not just we can't expect everything to be working quickly. So we just have to be patient, and then come back and check on it. So I will just pass on this video, and let's see that if the remediations are in place or not. So let's just pause here, and then I'll resume the video back. So I just came back after 10 minutes and I can see under the virtual machine towards to your settings blade, and you click extension, you can see here it's actually in the background, it's doing something. It's going and finding that this is not setting into compliance. So the remediation is kicking off. So I believe it's actually installing ISS anti-malware, but the status is unavailable. And let's just wait for some more time and see what's it's doing in the background. And we should also see the resource group should be all having the tags. So I'll pass on the video, guys. Hey guys, so welcome back. So after like good 30 minutes, I'm inside the policy dashboard, and let's see if deploy the Microsoft ISS policy is in effect or not. Let's click on that, and you can see this is the policy, and underneath the resource compliance, it says that Windows production box, this virtual machine is not in compliance state, and it says that it has been largely evaluated at 7:33 p.m. and you can see that effective type is deploy if not exist, right? And I believe everything should be right there in place. Let's move on to the next tab, and as you can see that right now we have our ISS anti-malware being provisioned successfully and automatically with the help of remediation task, right? So that is that policy that we deployed is in ineffective. So let's go on to the resource group policy where we had the same in place. So let's move on to the another policy that we made it and add a tag, and you can see that again you can see here like we have 4 resource group and all of them are non-compliant because none of them had any tag values. And I believe the effective type is modified. So at least one resource group should be one or two should be like having those values. Let's go on to daily demo and let's see whether there is a tag in place or not. Underneath let's just see where is tags, and yep, it's under the overview blade. You can click on that and you can see that the environment production tags are in place. So that's how you enforce policy. So once every other policy is in place and everything is done, you can just go and delete the assignments, or you can do a duplicate, or you can just edit the assignment, and you can also create exemption. So that's the end of this tutorial, guys. I hope you like this tutorial, and let me know if you need anything else or you have any confusion going on. Put it on to the comment section and I will be happy to help you out. And if you want to join our Telegram group, feel free to join because I post daily quiz and daily challenges like learn something new. So we have like-minded folks up here, and we have like 200 folks already into the group, and I'll put the link in the comment section. So give me a big thumbs up and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.